Hello there, people of the interweb and YouTube. I'm back again here to do another video, and what this topic of this video is going to be on is, well, I decided to comment on the Scottish referendum, which is coming up in under 100 days. It'll be September the 18th, so within 3 months of it now. I was going to just do a little ad-lib speech kind of thing of my reasons for voting yes to independence. But I've just had the post come through, and this booklet here has come through from HM Government. And I had a wee flick through it earlier on before I started doing this video. And basically I thought I would flick through each page and perhaps explain the independent choice for why these questions can be answered as well. I feel the whole independence thing, it's a little bit chaotic in the political side. I feel the yes to independence movement talks of future, it talks of plans, it talks of what they can give and what independence can give. It talks of freedom, and it talks of grandeur. And while yes, you have to remember it's political and all will be correct, what you also have to remember is they can well deliver on some of the stuff. I mean, if you look at Hitler, maybe not the best example of a political leader, but he is a great example in terms of, if you want to look at a politician that actually did stuff, he's a man to look at, because he did stuff, he did change, he made Germany great from what it was, for a small period at least. So politicians can have this power, and do use this power on occasion. So what you need to remember is that while, okay, it's not going to be perfect pretty rose garden and that, the opportunity is there. I mean, 700 plus years ago, to get independence you had to fight for it, you had to shed blood, you had to go onto the battlefield and destroy the enemy in order to have any chance of gaining it. This year all you have to do is go into a school or wherever, get a pen out, shed ink in a wee box that says yes, and then post that in a wee ballot box. That's it. Count them up, the majority wins, we're there. That is all. So, get my chinos there. So anyway, let's get on to this booklet now. We're 3.5 minutes in. Yeah, it shows children running in a field in the Scottish Highlands, I'm guessing. And I also noticed on their YouTube video, like sort of advertisement before you watch videos, it was all young people there as well. Though I think the aim they're going for is looking to the future. The youth of today, this is their United Kingdom, blah 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 blah. I suspect it's because they couldn't find any older generation to perhaps go for the better together thing, because they know how rubbish the UK is to live in. I mean, okay, it's no Ethiopia or it's no third world country, but compared to countries like Germany and France and perhaps areas in America, Canada, etc., it's not great, to be honest. There's lots of poverty, there's lots of crime. Things could be a hell of a lot better than they are currently. So starts off with a United Kingdom, a united future. Now, if we're in the UK, there's going to be a future there, because we've got no choice basically. If we go independent, there's going to be a future there, but it'll be our future to decide. I feel that's all I'm going to say towards that, because there's not much else to go and expand in that. The future's always going to be there. If it's a united future, that would suggest we voted no. If it would be pretty foolish for them to not say that, because it's a united kingdom. So if Scotland were still in the United Kingdom, they would have to include us. So that's kind of a stupid statement for a start. I'm not going to bother reading into all the little bits like all the advantages of the pound, closest trading partners, more businesses and jobs, etc, etc. I'm just going to read the main headline they've got here. By staying in the United Kingdom, our economies grow together. Do they now? Recently there was some big election thing for Europe in which the UKIP party, that's annoying me that, the UKIP party were voted, I don't think they got a big vote, but some of their members were voted into Europe to represent us in Europe or something along those lines. I don't follow politics that closely like some of these experts on the TV, but I have a fair idea of what's working, because you need to really. But generally I see UKIP and I hear them talk about wanting to take the UK out of Europe and out of the EU. How that is going to grow our economy, let me start that again. How that is going to grow our economies is beyond me, really. I mean, the whole point of being in the EU is a source of trade, a source of security, etc. There's many advantages to being in the EU. I mean, like with everything, there's always going to be pros and cons. You're never going to get some perfect choice. But you have to weigh it up, really. And I feel staying in the United Kingdom, I mean, in England and that currently, we've got the bedroom tax coming in, which is going to force people to pay more to the government. There's in the NHS is being privatised more and more. Talk of we're going to have to soon pay for treatments that were once free, which is a load of nonsense, really. Talk of, well, basically the post service, Royal Mail, they've been privatised, and it's ended up costing them more to privatise it than it would have. I don't know where I'm it would have cost more. It cost more to privatise it than the money it would make not privatised, or something along those lines. Basically, they've fucked it up, and I apologise for the language, but they really have just fucked up something chronic down there. And I choose yes because I don't want Scotland, a country I love and I'm proud of, to go the same way as them. They don't live here. They live down in bloody London, at the bottom of the country. If they lived in Newcastle or even Leeds, somewhere up north where it's sort of half and half in between, possibly. But they live down in bloody London. There's a whole big country called England separating them from us. So how do they know how things bloody well work up here? They don't even make things work down there, so how can we expect anything good up here? Next page. You may have to see this video going in stages of rant, but stick with it, please. By staying in the United Kingdom, your money is safe and goes further. All I will say to that is, let's bear in mind, it was when Scotland was part of the UK that the whole financial crisis in the world came about because of greedy bastard bankers. Your money is safe and goes further, does it? So it does as well. I don't care what currency. If Scotland had to change currency, fine. It worked for Ireland, it worked for Canada, it worked for Australia. I mean, it's money. It goes in line with the world's value and balance. It's nothing to do with the fucking United Kingdom. So that's a stupid point right there. They clearly don't know how to control money, taking all of Scotland's money from oil, etc., and spending it on a road that won't even come up to bloody Scotland, and rail and all that nonsense. London Olympics, how much of that was spent with Scotland's money, eh? Did Scotland get any part of it? Did the shite? By staying in the United Kingdom, Scotland's public services are more affordable. Public services. The picture they've got is someone getting their prescription over the counter. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, there's talk about the NHS being privatised. Currently, as I see it, the NHS is a free service in which you can receive healthcare for free. I believe you may have to pay for some medicines and that, but that's if you're in work. If you're on like job seekers or some sort of benefits or pension or something, I believe it's free. And they're talking about wanting to make people pay for treatment and that kind of thing. How is that making public services more affordable? Tell me that. It's just absolute lunacy. Lower taxes. And you're going to have lower taxes by introducing more of them. Very well done. Well done. All the sense of sticking your foot in a fire to cool it down. Really. By staying in the United Kingdom, Scotland has a strong voice in the world. No, it doesn't. Because as a part of the United Kingdom, Scotland wouldn't be the one speaking, would it? It would be the UK, it would be Westminster speaking on our behalf. It just annoys me how they can say that, really. Strong voice in the world. If you go anywhere around the world, really, and say to them, where are you from? And say, oh, I'm from the United Kingdom. Oh, I see. Immediately their brain turns to England. That is what they think the United Kingdom is. And admittedly, there will be many out there that understand the UK as being Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland also. But generally they will think to England, because that's just what it is. England's the biggest country there. Like America is the biggest. Russia's bigger than the USA. But the USA is seen as the world leader. Wrongly. They're seen as the world leader because they're such a big country. I mean, Japan is so tiny compared to America, and probably are on a similar level of money and standing, etc. But USA is seen as more powerful because of the size of the country. So how Scotland can have a strong voice in the world being part of the UK when England is bigger and more authoritative than it, I don't understand that. Bits here, help for the world's poorest. I will give it to the UK. They do help in times of need. Army going into Iraq and that. Or aid, Red Cross and all that. There are good points in the UK, but the bad points override them somehow. By staying in the United Kingdom, Scotland is stronger. Now, I'm going to talk here. I've just seen snippets of this because I wasn't born at that time. I believe it was the 80s or something, when Thatcher was in power with the Conservative Parliament and Tories. Independence was talked about then as well, and they said, vote no, we'll give you more devolution. And apparently they didn't. So what's to change it now? It's basically history repeating itself, and if people are stupid enough to vote no, then I say to hell with them. They can pay the consequences for that. I mean, the point is, it's not as if you don't know what's going to happen if we stay in the UK. I mean, as it says here, for over 300 years Scotland has flourished as a part of the UK. So over 300 years people have seen what it is like to live in a Scotland that is part of the UK. They've seen they've seen highs. I'll give them that maybe, because the UK hasn't been all bad, I guess. It does have its plus points, but then its negative points really override and detract from that. I feel it's just absolute sheer lunacy, really, to think that people are happy with how Scotland is right now. I mean, it's just madness, really. There's a chance here to change things, and a possibility to make things better than they are, and not be held back by a group of people that probably think of England before us. So I feel it's a no-brainer, but this is how it works. That's the end of the thing. The referendum on 18th September means making a big decision that affects everything. How you live and work, what money you use, the tax you pay, the laws you abide by, and the passport you carry. The UK government believes that by staying united we have much more to share and much more to gain. They do have much more to gain by our oil, basically. Much more to share. They won't share it as much as they have been. That's it, basically. That's going to be my video there. I would say I'm not a fan of Alex Salmond, really. I mean, I suppose compared to Labour and Conservatives, he's a hell of a lot better, but I can't be done with Conservative bloody toffs. Ooh, did you see my blazer in Tewkesbury? It was a lovely Beaujolais red. Ooh, yes, I spilled some jam on it once and it never showed up. It was so amazing. Ooh, lovely. Oh, they're going to care for the working folk, are they? A lot of nonsense. I tell you, I'm voting yes, not because it's anti-English or a patriotic decision. I'm deciding yes because I've seen how much of a complete arse the UK is right now, and how much of an arse that the current government and perhaps previous ones have made of it. And I think enough is enough. You think about it. How's this for a fact? The government that is in Westminster right now and makes the laws here and rules the country, etc., etc., is a government that Scotland never voted for. We didn't vote for them. England did. Perhaps bits of Wales did as well, I'm guessing, and Northern Ireland. There will be some Scots that voted for it. But the majority of Scottish people did not vote for that government, and we get it anyway. Is that right? I'm going to try and simplify it down with this final point. You live in a house. It's a semi-detached house, and you have a neighbour. If your neighbour told you how to prepare your garden, how to spend your money, how to live your life, would you be happy with that? Because I most certainly wouldn't. It's my garden, it's my house, it's my life. I will be the one who chooses what happens with it, not my neighbour, no matter how much control they have over the place. This is the time, people. Scotland has a chance to have a bright and positive future. Sure, there'll be some bad along the way, but surely it can't be as hell as bad as being in part of the UK right now. This is the chance now. Either grab it, or just live in a destitute waste of a country, really. A shadow of what it probably once was. I'll sign off for now. Yes, on September 18th. Johnny.